6th, a total of 14 workers were fired after they declined to get the vaccine. The Oregonian newspaper out of Portland is reporting distance runner 25-year-old Mary Kane accused Nike and her former coach Alberto Salazar of abuse in a $20 million lawsuit filed this week. She alleges in the suit that she faced sustained emotional abuse. Coachella Festival attendees will no longer be required to be vaccinated against the coronavirus to gain entry into the popular California Music Festival near Palm Springs. USA Radio News.
We know that the 1% globalist elites have hijacked and subverted the U.S. economy, culture, and government. The battle to take America back begins with Scott McKay, the Patriot Street Fighter, and his Advancing the Fork and Line tour. Now here's Scott.
Hi, this is Scott McKay, better known as Patriot Street Fighter, the high-octane, full-throttle truth hammer, and I'm bringing the Advancing the Fork and Line tour to a city near you. I and a host of other speakers will be on stage with an arsenal of issues from health rights, human rights, and the freedom given to us by the Founding Fathers who drafted the Constitution for the United States of America. This is a ticketed event, and you can get tickets at PatriotStreetFighter.com. I'm looking forward to personally seeing many of you there.
The Patriot Street Fighter Advancing the Fork and Line tour tickets can be purchased at PatriotStreetFighter.com. For tour dates and information, or to purchase your tickets, go to PatriotStreetFighter.com. That's PatriotStreetFighter.com.
Luby Bat Conservancy is excited to welcome everyone back to our 17th annual Florida Bat Festival held Saturday, October 23rd, 10 to 5. Bat Fest is a local family-friendly event held at Luby, where guests can enjoy games and activities in the kids zone, local artisans, food trucks, live music, craft beer from local breweries, and of course, the world's largest bats. Highlights include baby bats born this year and the grand opening of the new education center. For more information, visit the Luby Facebook page or www.luby.org/Batfest.
If you're thinking about brightening up your yard for fall, consider just what a new tree or two will do. And when it comes to trees, everyone around here goes to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. At Bob Wine's 5-acre tree garden, you get the best selection, you get top quality, and prices that simply cannot be beat. Plus, whenever you buy one tree, you get a second tree just like it for half price. So come pick out your favorite large tree up to 6 feet or more, starting as low as $49.99. All the way up to its famous Super Jumbos, delivered, planted, and guaranteed for one low price. Be sure to check out the truckload sale on citrus trees. Your choice starting as low as $69.99. And by all means, check out the dwarf citrus, perfect for patios and small spaces. For almost 70 years, Bob Wines has been on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, just east of Lake Weir Avenue. They're open daily till 4, Saturdays till 3. You owe yourself a visit to this wonderful 5-acre garden.
What are you doing this Saturday, October 16th? Well, how about joining the elite climbers for a rec and competition climb? Or just come out to watch this exciting event. Of course, there'll be food vendors, plus live bands, a kids splash pad, bouncy houses, kids climb, games, and more. Yes, it's fun for the whole family. If you want to compete, it's only $50. Most everything else is free. That's this Saturday, October 16th at Lake Lillian Park in Bellevue from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yep, it's something different.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Dance Alive National Ballet presents Phantom, A Tale of Obsession on Saturday, October 30th at 2 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. at the Curtis M. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts in Gainesville. It is a world of love and obsession. Good versus evil. The classic love triangle. What better for Halloween? Funding is provided in part by Visit Gainesville, Alachua County. A grant from the City of Gainesville Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Department. Details and ticket information at dancealive.org.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. Joining me on the phone lines as he does every day from Life South is Galen Unall. Brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. They're located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street here in Ocala. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions about how they're handling the COVID-19 pandemic, give Palm Garden a call at 352-854-6262. Also family-owned and operated Penn Flooring, serving Marion County for over 30-plus years. Penn Flooring owes every bit of their success to their unrivaled customer service. Go see their amazing showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call at 352-351-3420. And, of course, Just Ship. They've flipped the script on shipping. Before, you had to buy the bubble wrap, the tape, the box. You had to put your item in it. You had to package it up. You had to go stand in line at UPS or the post office, wasting not only your money but valuable time, and time is money. Well, Just Ship does all that for you now. They say you set an appointment, they come out for a small pickup fee plus postage. They'll do all the packaging, they'll do all the handling, they'll go stand in line at the post office and the UPS store, saving you time and money, which overall saves you money. That's justshipped.net. Galen Unall from Life South joins us. Galen, we were talking about government intrusion. And once again in the headlines is the battle lines that have been drawn between the White House administration and the administrations of the state of Texas and the state of Florida, mainly now about the mandate that any private business with over 100 employees are under a federal mandate to get vaccinated, while the two states have said, I don't care. If you don't have to do that in our state. The battle lines are drawn. How do you see this playing out? Is this really a big game of chicken between the federal government and these state governments? Because this looks like, to me, a complete state rights argument all day long.
Well, I think it's more of a personal right, but yeah, the federal government always wins these, and they just do. They're bigger, and they blackmail you and withhold your tax dollars from you, or they'll put in some kind of travel ban to, like, federal employees can't come to Florida or something like that. But it's just a form of blackmail, and they'll win. I don't. You name an argument where the states have won.
I can't. Everybody says, well, New Orleans, Louisiana held out for 2.5 years on the drinking age to 21. Yeah, until the federal dollars for their roadways and all got so much that they were missing it, that they finally buckled and told the Reagan administration, okay, we'll go to 21 years or older. And then Reagan opened back up the federal funds to go to Louisiana.
Absolutely, and to the people in Washington, this cause is far more important than the drinking age to them, right? And they're, it's the COVID vaccine mandates are one of those dividing issues in the country. It's incredibly important to both sides.
It just seems like that. And the White House I heard the White House press secretary say, you don't understand, folks, we're talking about medicine and science, and they're talking about politics, saying that the states of Texas and Florida were playing politics with people's health. And I went, what the hell are you saying? You're playing politics with people's health. I mean, I don't understand.
Well, if you're a federal contractor, you don't have a choice, right? You have to follow their guidelines. You don't have a choice if you're, and most large businesses are federal contractors. You know what? This isn't an optional thing.
No, and the mandate of 100 workers or more, that even private businesses. Once again, that goes back to government intrusion, government control, socialism. That there's no other way to say it.
Well, it's like you said earlier. You want a job shortage, so now they're hurting the people they think that deserve to be hurt. Oh, okay. Well, our lack of workers is because people are dumb and they refuse to get a vaccine. Right? This life-saving vaccine, and they're putting all of us at risk now, and not just because of the spread of COVID, but now they're also not willing to work, and now these people aren't delivering the goods, and so my son's Christmas, Like my daughter's Christmas is going to be terrible because these people who vote for Trump are unwilling to get a vaccine. That's being sold.
And here's the thing.
And to that base, it works. I mean, people believe that.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
I looked at the CDC.
If you ask most people who doesn't get the vaccine, they always say, "Oh, people who voted for Trump," which is completely untrue, by the way. Leading cause is African Americans, right? The number two, it's demographic. It's economics. You know, the poor people in the world aren't getting the vaccine. That's 1 and 2.
Yes, the largest group.
When you get your vaccine, when you get your vaccine, they don't ask which party you vote for.
No, and the largest group that are unvaccinated still, the largest mass group unvaccinated are African Americans. That the CDC even says that, and we know it's a voting bloc. We know it's a voting bloc that African Americans generally vote Democratic as a voting bloc. We know that, so that's not Trump supporters.
When Black Lives Matter is, protesting and marching against COVID mandates, vaccine mandates, and then 2 blocks away, a right-wing group is doing the same thing, then you're like, oh, maybe there is common ground. It's all about the government intrusion. Maybe we have government, or maybe we have common ground there. Stay out of our lives, government.
I watched a video yesterday produced by the CDC that was talking about mask mandates and how you needed to, not mask mandates, the vaccination, how more people need to be vaccinated to reach herd immunity. The CDC's number is 85% of the country needs to be vaccinated for what they say will reach herd immunity. Do you know where we are right now, percentage-wise, of Americans that have at least 1 vaccination shot? According to the CDC.
Pretty high.
76%.
Yeah.
So we're having these showdowns between the federal government saying nobody's getting vaccinated. Well, hello, 3/4 of the country has got at least one of the vaccine, 1 shot. Maybe not 2. If you took Johnson & Johnson, you only have to have 1. Now there's this talk of a pill's going to be, the FDA is going to approve a pill to fight COVID within the next month. I don't see where the storyline that the White House is playing out there, that nobody's getting vaccinated. 3/4 of the country has already taken at least 1 shot. What part of that is not getting vaccinated?
Well, and look at the positivity rate, right? In the state of Florida, it dropped another 5%. It's below 5% now.
Yes.
In the state of Florida, and
a state that didn't shut down, but they must be doing it wrong.
That's correct. And again, it's what are the, and again, it's what we value as a country, right? Do we value our safety, or more importantly, the guise of safety, or do we believe in freedom? And again, to me, that's what it's always come down to. That's what it's a choice.
We've talked about it, you and
I believe you should get vaccinated, but at the same time, I don't think the federal government should tell you to do anything.
Look,
I'm against, and by the way, I'm against the draft too.
Yeah.
If they institute a draft, I'm against that as well. I don't think the government should tell me what to do in any way, shape, or form. Their full function, is to protect my rights that are inalienable, that are God-given, right? That I was born with.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
They didn't grant, and too many people are under this impression that the Bill of Rights says the government grant me these rights.
It does not.
No.
They're unalienable rights.
God gave me this right as a human being, right? The government is there to protect them, not take them away. But since the inception of that document, all the government has done is slowly take away my rights.
And the Bill of Rights was not there to give you rights. The Bill of Rights is there to explain what the government can't deny you.
So, and I think that's
what people don't understand.
For people
That's
to
what
go
people don't
through
understand.
And look at how those rights have been infringed upon throughout not just our history as a country, but in the last 2 years. Right to assemble taken away. It was literally taken away, and in some cases, people were arrested.
Yep. People were arrested in the right places. In the left places, they weren't arrested.
Sure, that's fair.
Nobody got arrested in Portland when they burnt down a federal building and razed a police station.
Yeah, that's correct. If you were protesting something, then that was okay.
No, because you got arrested in Washington, D.C. for protesting whether you agreed with it or not. And I think the insurrection, people should have been arrested. But that's the same thing they did in Washington, D.C. January 6th, has been happening for a year and a half in towns all around this country with BLM and Antifa, and nobody ever batted an eye. Oh, they're just this peaceful protest. Last time I checked, burning damn buildings to the ground wasn't peaceful.
That's correct. So let's go through them. So the First Amendment, right? Law establishing religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. We were told in the last year
couldn't go to church.
We could not go to church.
Yep.
Right? This happened. Second Amendment.
Hey, by the way, preachers were arrested. Preachers and priests were arrested for having church.
In Tampa, Florida. So this does happen in our state, right? Second Amendment. We all know gun rights are under complete and utter assault. So number 3, by the way, there's talk about this, and they're doing it under the. Have you seen the new things that people who are unvaccinated may go under house arrest, and they may have to be put in a monitor with facial recognition that shows that they're not leaving the house? Have you read that? Yeah, that's being implemented or just talked about being implemented in some states. And so that's housing a government entity in your house to watch you, right? So that's the Third Amendment. Fourth Amendment, the right for people to secure in their person's homes papers and effects against unlawful searches. Again, if I have to show my vaccine mandate or my vaccine card,
that's an unlawful search.
And I have to have it on display. It's an unlawful search. Again, it goes on and on and on. It's unbelievable. It is. This is, and so when people talk about, oh, just get the vaccine, great, get the vaccine, but the government has to quit being a part of every piece of my life.
Fix my roads, keep a strong military, leave me the hell alone.
Sure.
I don't think that's too much to ask, do you?
No. I do not believe the federal government has anything to do with roads. And I'll disagree on this to my dying day. Infrastructure.
If they're going to take that gasoline tax, if they give that tax, they're taking that gasoline tax, they better give it back.
No. Now you're talking about that federal law that they're trying to pass to put in a federal gas tax, right, where I'm going to be taxed per mile. I'm against that. Roads should be, they should be local roads. Now, the interstate system, I love it, right? I understand it, but that's really now run by each state's DOT with federal funding that we already gave them. I believe in toll roads. Toll roads are more efficient.
I love toll roads.
Everywhere they're used.
I love toll roads. I use a toll road every chance I get. If it's free road or toll road, I'm using my Sun Pass and go. Like the way to get to Tampa, the best way to get to Tampa to me is down the Veterans Parkway. Get it in Brooksville and go all the way to Tampa.
Okay, and again, I think you're crazy, but that's okay.
It's a toll road.
I guess it depends on where you're going in Tampa.
Well, I usually go to the airport and it dumps you out right at the airport.
But again, the federal government, nowhere in its charter does it say it's responsible for housing or
education
or medical, right? But the largest medical supplier in the country, and it's not even close, is the federal government. They're the largest payer. They're the largest buyer of pharmaceutical products, right? They dominate it. And why? Right? This is part of the problem. The largest employer in the country is the federal government.
Yes.
Like, oh, I don't know about that. I'm like,
it is.
Social Security. They're paying people. right?
Yeah.
They're taking our funding and paying people a check. We could argue whether they earned it. We could do all that. But the bottom line is they're paying people to be retired.
Yes. Yep.
It's undeniable. I'm sorry. It's undeniable.
You're right. And if you get a paycheck from the federal government, whether you're working or not, that technically you receive a paycheck from them, you're an employee.
Okay, how hard would it be?
Which is what retirees are. They're employees of the federal government.
How hard would it be? Do you remember when I don't remember if it was DeSantis or Rick Scott said, "All right, in order for you to collect unemployment in the state of Florida,
you have to get a drug
unemployment." It was some federal benefit. I can't remember if it was a.
No, it was food stamps and stuff. You had to be drug tested.
Food stamps.
Right.
That's right. You had to be drug tested. My God, people went nuts.
By the way, I had to pass a drug test to earn that money that tax dollars took.
Not necessarily. If you're a federal employee, you did. But again, by the way, I was against that at the time.
I know.
I just was. I think that's a federal that's another intrusion in my personal decisions. So again, this is what they're trying to do.
And I think people go, well, COVID was a pandemic. I still believe, and yes, I know COVID is real. People are dying from it. It's a virus that people die from. I get it if you're susceptible to it. If you're obese or you're elderly or you got pre-existing conditions, I understand. It's a very, very bad disease. I've lost a lot of friends that died from complications to COVID. I get that. But I think that the governments around the world use this opportunity as a test run to see how quick they can control the world. And they
won.
Yeah.
By the way, big government dominated during this.
They shut the entire world down, Galen, in less than 2 weeks. And Australia Australia just announced that it's going to start opening back up next month. It's been closed for a solid year and a half.
But if you look at it, it's only if you've gotten 2 vaccinations.
Right, if you've only been vaccinated, exactly.
It's unbelievable. But again, that's what happens when you willfully hand over your guns to the federal government.
You know, people talk about the one world order and all this conspiracy stuff. As this rolls longer and longer in,
it's not a conspiracy if it's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like there's more credence to it in every waking moment.
It's not a conspiracy if it's true. I'm just going to let you know that.
I don't. And look, I'm glad our governor's standing up. But how long can he play this game of chicken? That's the question. And you alluded to it. The federal government always wins these situations.
Well, it's helping that our tourism is way up, and so our tax revenue is much higher than expected.
Well, we're the only place open. And somebody told me that when I asked about that. Somebody in Panama City, when I brought that up, they go, "Sir, we're the only place in the world that vacationers come to that's fully open." Tourism's booming right now because we're the only place in the world where there's no mandates and no restrictions for a vacation area.
That's correct. 31.4 million travelers in second quarter to Florida, which is pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That means no ad valorem tax for another year. And if you've ever lived in a state where you have to pay ad valorem tax and you have to pay state income tax, you learn to appreciate the state of Florida really quick.
By the way, to put that into perspective, that's a 6% increase from 2019.
Oh, wow.
So
that was pre-pandemic.
Yeah. Well, it's similar. 2019.
Remember, we shut down March of 2020.
March of 2020
is when we shut down. So yeah,
so it's higher than it is higher than 2 years. It's incredibly high. So, and you consider that people are still having to wear a mask in certain places in Disney World and things. So, pretty incredible.
You know, the one thing about this pandemic is if you're a fan of the amusement parks, boy, they're easy to get in and out of right now, especially in the weekdays.
Sure.
Easy to get in and out of.
You know who the leading states are coming to Florida?
New York, Illinois, California.
It's by city. It's by city.
New York, Los Angeles, Chicago.
According to this, the largest increases are from Cincinnati, Columbus, and Indianapolis.
Huh.
According to this article, FloridaTrend.com.
Huh.
So, yeah, but again, I think the people in New York are just scared to death. You know, and when they go back, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
For 14 days.
In New York.
Yeah, you got to. If you leave and go back, you got to quarantine for
It's
14 days.
It's unbelievable.
It's all about control. And hey,
yeah,
and don't get me
always
wrong, I made a conscious decision that I'm living with the after effects of right now, and I got the vaccination because I made the decision, not because the government.
Now your legs don't work.
Right, but not because the government employee told me I had to take the vaccination. I had a discussion with my wife.
Yeah.
We decided as a family because of her parents' advanced age that we would get the shot. But we decided it. That's the difference.
And I'm pro-vaccinations. Just don't believe in federal mandate.
Right, I'm not anti-vaccination. I got the vaccine, so obviously I'm not anti-vaccination.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm pro-vaccines for my kids, right? You know, because there's so much data on them. All I ask, and all I want from our federal government, and I think it would solve this problem instantly, is release the data, release the reactions, release the number of people who have gotten COVID after 2 vaccinations, right? Just give us the information.
Release how many people's release how many people's legs have swollen up opposite from the arm they got the shot in.
Just share the data. That's all we ask.
I knew that something was up with my leg when I found a video from Pfizer, from a doctor from Pfizer, that described exactly what I'm going through, the swollen leg opposite the arm that I got the shot in. If the company who made the shot is telling you this is a problem, why isn't the federal government releasing the data to tell you it's a problem?
Sure, absolutely.
Because Pfizer is. I have a video from a doctor from Pfizer. Now they don't tell you how to, alleviate the side effects, but they do damn well tell you that one of the side effects is that you get a swollen leg that mimics deep vein thrombosis and could eventually lead to deep vein thrombosis if not taken care of, and it's a side effect of the Pfizer shot. I have a video from a Pfizer doctor with the Pfizer logo and everything. So if they're telling you that, release the data. You're right. Tell me what the situation is. How many people, and that's the big one, how many people still get COVID after the second shot? Yeah, I
think that's a fair question.
They're not dying from it. It gets you through it a little easier. But how many people still contract COVID after the second shot? Why is that not a fair question?
But if we could prove that, right? If we had, and I believe it to be true, right? But belief and proof are different. But if we could tell everybody, look, you could, yes, you still could get COVID after the second vaccine, but you're much more likely to survive it. And in fact, you will survive it. Then people will understand, but they just keep everything. And again, the internet, you can go into a black hole of all the negative things that happen. And again, it's just speculation because they won't release the data. And then when they do release a report, it's like, oh, well, one doctor in a Minneapolis hospital researched 10 patients.
No, the one report they released about the Moderna vaccine was a hospital in India.
Again, that doesn't help.
Hey, Galen, tell me
release the information.
What helps right now is you tell me where the blood mobile is today.
Yeah, and we could really use your donation. So please just come out and see us. We're right there on the boulevard, 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard. And today we're going to be at the Walmart in Silver Springs Shore. So come by, say hello, donate blood, and save 3 lives.
Thanks, Galen. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, all.
WOCA, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The Biden administration will